Tim Thomas is used to looking at the American flag from that angle from TD Garden. He's at the other end of the ice now. Tonight's starting goalie is brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive tonight in this building. 40 games over 500, a .922 lifetime save percentage, 17 shutouts, but no Zdeno Chara in front of him tonight. Tuukka Rask, lifetime against Florida, a sub-1 goals against average, a .967 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. Chris Kelly returns to the Bruins lineup tonight, but he will skate as the fourth line center, moving Gregory Campbell to the left wing. Ryan Spooner sent down to Providence today. Carl Soderberg, who had a strong game last night on the island, takes the opening drop. The game is on. Rick, you get the feeling from the Bruins they couldn't wait to get back to the rink, even though it's back-to-backers.
Yeah, and you don't take anything for granted. You want to play and continue to play the style of hockey that you're playing. The pucks are finding the back of the net, but you've created those opportunities for yourself. But there are some areas they'd like to clean up from their game last night in Long Island.
Yeah, what are those areas?
Turnovers. Puck management is a phrase you hear all the time. Claude Julien talks about it. They can do a better job of limiting the turnovers in the bad areas. And that's, 10 feet inside each blue line.
Chris breakout here. Soderberg in front for Eriksson off his skate. Thomas has a hard time getting a handle on it. And finally, he covers up.
Neutral zone was an issue, too. If you remember the conversation with Jeff Ward between the second and third period. Going into that third period with a one-goal lead, their fourth one-goal lead of the night. They wanted to be better at center ice. And this is a good example of the offensive side of the puck through the neutral zone. Real nice breakout. They find open space with Soderberg swinging up that off-wing side with Eriksson driving the middle of the offensive zone.
And Jeff Ward sounded like a real estate agent during that interview. High slot, low slot, neutral zone. He's talking a lot of locations. Ryan Campbell off the glass and up to the neutral zone. Zdeno Chara, who had his 500th point in the NHL last night. It's the red-hot Patrice Bergeron line with Riley Smith and Brad Marchand on the ice. All of those players riding 6-game scoring streaks. Thomas nudges the puck aside. Brian Campbell in trouble. Riley Smith trying to kick to the stick off Marchand's centering feet. Here comes Scotty Upshall back into the Boston zone. Panthers peeling off for a line change. Olsen down the boards. Lucic gets the feed out from Krug. Krejci crisply into the zone. The bomb from Miller and a save by Thomas. Tim Thomas has perhaps the best glove in hockey. You try to beat him glove side high, you better have some Chinese mustard on.
It's been a streaky year in terms of his availability to play consecutive games. Twice he was out with lengthy stretches, and when he's been healthy and ready to go, he's been a workhorse. Able to track that nice little drop pass by Krejci for Miller coming late.
They do play a lot of baseball in Michigan. Scotty Upshall on the backhand, tosses it around through the corner. Tuukka Rask out of his goal, nudges it to Miller, straight ahead to Lucic. The tap to Iginla. The Bruins have been coming out of their zone with gusto early. Iginla through the legs to Lucic, back down into the corner. Iginla spins off the Mike Weaver check, loses an edge, but stays with the puck, shields it, and Lucic nudges it toward Krejci. Nick Bjugstad clears the puck the length of the ice off a Bruins stick. Fresh players flooding the ice. Johnny Boychuk goes off the end boards to Bartkowski, ahead to Campbell. It's another crisp breakout. Kelly takes a hit on his first touch in 7 weeks. Thornton's shot. Thomas way out of the crease. Kelly fires it. It's a leg save, Thomas. Boychuk right in front. Thornton on the rebound. Out muscling Drew Shore. Shore backhands it up the wall. Boychuk plays the bounce in the neutral zone. Thomas Kopecky chasing.
A good early sign to see Chris Kelly last minute aware the hit was coming, protect himself enough to absorb enough of the hit and continue that play and get the puck in the direction of Sean Thornton for a real good chance.
Kelly missed 23 consecutive games after suffering a broken leg, courtesy of a Pascal Dupuis slash, can we call it? It was a hard effort with the stick in the neighborhood of the puck, and it broke the non-weight-bearing bone in Kelly's lower leg, the fibula. Marcel Gotch, the snapshot. Rask tracks it wide. Chara around through the corner. Louis Eriksson backing up. Slides it to Soderberg. He works diagonally. Gains the line. Brian Campbell pries it away, and Jonathan Huberdeau takes it. Last year's Calder Trophy winner as the Rookie of the Year gets into the Boston zone. It was going wide, but Rask gloves it and takes the face-off. Chris Kelly showing that he is ready to take some punishment.
The Bruins doing a nice job with their quick ups coming out of their own zone, spending very little time there. Kelly has to reach back for that pass from Paille, and in so doing, he exposes himself a little bit, but he has enough awareness that the contact's coming from Weaver, absorbs that hit, continues to play. Led to the first of 3 shots by the Bruins.
Unfortunately, you had a lot of experience coming back from injuries in your career. How important was it to take that first big hit and know everything was going to be okay?
Well, you're coming back from a lower body, but
right.
but the whole idea of coming back after missing those 20-plus games is, your timing, your feel for the game, and your ability to absorb hits. So real important. And the first hit that he throws, just as.
Yep. Bergeron tries a self-pass, trickles it down the boards. Tom Gilbert is on a scoring streak, sends it around through the corner. Smith gets it loose to Bergeron, drags it right next to his skates to get through the hole, but Gomez helps to take the puck away. Campbell out of the right side for Brad Boyes, and there's Bergeron filling the gap. Off the end board, smart pass by Barkowski. Now Boychuk to Bergeron. The Bruins just fluidly out of their own zone and into the attacking end again. Gomez chips the puck to center. Johnny Boychuk on it. Hard into the zone, takes a funny bounce off the glass as the Bruins change. Dmitry Kulikov, the powerful, quick skating defenseman, gets it up the boards for Bjugstad, a big center. Krug through the center circle. Weaver takes it away. Bjugstad catches it on the backhand, goes down the off wing, the right shot on the left side. Krug can't hold off the pivot. Bjugstad muscles to the middle. It's loose in the slot. Iginla takes it off Krejci's whack. Now Iginla, the self-pass behind Kulikov. Races to the corner. Kulikov elects not to go for the hit. Krejci can't handle the pass in the far corner. Upshaw to Fleischmann, snaps it around through the corner. Florida peels off for a change.
With the rotation on the back end by the Bruins, in the neutral zone, you had Krug and Miller on opposite sides. Krug got caught on that right side. Not that he's not capable of playing it, but it gave an advantage to Bjugstad, the bigger body.
Big triangle. Iginla, the snapshot. Krejci to Lucic to Iginla. A thing of beauty, and Thomas has been busy early.
Again, the Bruins moving the puck quickly from the defensive zone into center ice. And when you move that puck quickly with good decisions and accuracy with that puck movement, good things are going to happen. Krejci gets open. That's a long distance pass as far as the Bruins are concerned. Krug able to zip it up to Krejci. The quick entry. Get that puck wide and continue to the net. That's exactly what Krejci wanted to do, and that opened up that trailer pass from Lucic to Iginla.
You get shooters like Lucic on the left, Iginla on the right, and when they attack with depth, it must be a nightmare to be a defenseman.
And that's where you need saves. You need saves from your goaltender in those situations when you get guys that can shoot the puck for quality scoring chances. And, you're going to give up your share of goals, no doubt about it. But it's the timeliness of the saves that makes you an elite goaltender in this league.
Last night, the Bruins outshot the Islanders 18-2 in the early going. Now it's 7-1 against Florida. Still 0-0 on the board. Some good work by Tim Thomas early. Chara throws it off the skates of Weaver. Gotch goes to the corner. Kelly puts the hit on. Here's Thornton. So Kelly's taking one and giving one. Here's Thornton setting up in Gretzky's office, but it's off of Gotch's stick, and it deflects off glass and up out of play. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Jarome Iginla, a 4-point game on Saturday. Brad Marchand, 4 points last night against the Islanders. Last time it happened, early January of '94. Cam Neely had a 5-point night, and Ray Bourque had a 4-point night. Or was it the other way around? No, that was the way it was. It was Neely 5 against Washington, Bourque 4 against Winnipeg.
Now, those two guys are entitled to one good night.
They had a few. They had a few. Tom Gilbert slips the puck to Boyes behind the hash marks. Now cross ice to Campbell, the defenseman, jumping up on a wing. Wing to wing to Gomez. The shot saved by Rask, and he'll have to take a defensive zone faceoff.
And that's classic Bruins defensive hockey. Even with speed through the neutral zone by the Panthers, they get enough back pressure to keep this play wide. The defense hold their lanes. Gomez is going to receive this pass, but look at the layers coming back, Jack, to take away any kind of return pass to that slot area. Gomez recognizes, and he's a pretty good playmaker. He has no other play to shoot the puck, and that's an easy read for Tuukka Rask.
Soderberg and the big Bjugstad. Bjugstad goes 6'4", 188, and he's only 21 years old. He's going to fill out some. Bartkowski, the hard backhand pass off the half boards. Eriksson can't bring it out of the zone. Boychuk down in the corner. Up the wall. Eriksson handles it nicely in traffic, sends it into the seam. Gilbert recovers, but there's Soderberg as Allaire sends Eriksson into space. The backhand save, rebound, and a saving swipe by Brian Campbell, getting it out of the slot. Bjugstad working Bartkowski's side of the ice. Bad angle shot, lobs in on Rask. He'll take the faceoff. 13:44 to go in the first. It's 0-0. Tim Thomas and Tuukka Rask at either end of the ice.
Well, for the string of games Brad Marchand has put together lately, it's not like we need a reason to make him our key matchup tonight, brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers, but it's Marchand's success, particularly against the Florida Panthers, that we're looking at. 12 points in 13 career games for number 63. He delivered his only career hat trick and a 5-point game against the Panthers here at TD Garden Ice back on December 23rd, 2011. Jack, the way he's playing lately, I wouldn't be surprised to see his second one coming our way.
Yeah, who does he think he is? Thomas Vanek? Of course, the Bruins kept Vanek under control last night. Marchand can't spin the puck out of the zone. One of the few times the Bruins have had a little difficulty coming out of the defensive end. Krug tape to Smith, ahead to Bergeron, who was there in close support. Bergeron fakes the shot, then it's off Kulikov's stick, and it lobs up over the end glass.
They use that term quick ups, and that can even be on a controlled breakout, Jack. Bruins are making the simple pass, not trying to have to go through anybody if they don't have to. Those are high percentage plays, and it gives you a real good rhythm.
Gotch and Bergeron on the faceoff. Kulikov a little wide of Thomas's goal. Weaver. An errant pass. Kevin Miller takes it, chips it off the boards, gets it in deep, and Kulikov will have to play it again. Kulikov hard off the boards, and it drifts behind Winchester. He goes back, picks it up, gets to Gotch. The shot saved by Rask. Rebound, Winchester digging away, and Rask covers up.
A couple of good bounces go the Florida Panthers' way, Jack, on that breakout. The hard indirect off the board somehow deflects. Winchester's coming across the ice. He's able to get to that puck first. Nice little screen at the blue line by Huberdeau. Well, that leads to a quick little snapshot from the left wing area by Gotch.
Justin Winchester scored a goal very similar to that against the Bruins in this season series. He's got 2 goals in 2 games against Boston so far this year. Bruins have won them both. 3-2 on the 17th of October against Tim Thomas down in Sunrise, Florida, and then up here 4-1 on the 7th of November against Scott Clemmensen. Brian Campbell right to Dougie Hamilton. He jumps up on the wing, gives to Lucic. It's in his skates. Krejci to Lucic. McGinley back to Chara. Over to Hamilton at the dot. Cross ice. McGinley, the shot saved by Thomas. Tim Thomas with a strong left to right push to get square to the puck.
And if you're worried about the Bruins taking this game lightly because it's the Florida Panthers, I think with Tim Thomas in goal, and even though they probably have this kind of relationship with Thomas in the rearview mirror now that time has passed, significant time, but with Thomas in goal and the fact that the Bruins on a roll, 6 goals apiece in the last 2 games, anytime there's a scrum, I think that's a good sign for the Bruins. That's the style of hockey that they want to play. Get involved, get invested emotionally.
Scoring chances 5-1, shots on goal 9-4. Tim Thomas looks like he's got some tread left on the tires at age 39.
And we pointed out that little screen by Huberdeau, and it was a good play, no penalty worthy of it. Led to that shot and a rebound chance by Winchester. Gillen did something similar at the offensive blue line to allow Dougie Hamilton to jump into the play.
Campbell and Lucic walking for the puck. Campbell whacks it ahead to Huberdeau, shoves it back to Winchester. Now here comes Tom Gilbert, jumping up the ice. 6 assists in 6 games. Fires it off the end boards wide, and the Bruins turn it into transition. Big numbers coming up. McGinley, Krejci, and Lucic in a tight triangle. The drop pass doesn't connect. Now it comes to McGinley. He turns, fires, battles around, and Lucic scores. Going to the net. It was the counterattack, the tight triangle. They look like those little guys in Star Wars coming into the Death Star.
No, he talked about getting involved emotionally, and Milan Lucic, the recipient of that emotion that he brings. But this is a great play by David Krejci. A little miscommunication on the drop pass by McGinley. Krejci was staying more middle off that left shoulder. Iginla thought he was going to come right in behind him, but David Krejci stops on the play and battles for the puck. And in so doing, Florida thinks turnover, let's get something going offensively. And now you got loose coverage on Iginla and Lucic right in front of the net.
Bartkowski wins the race to the dots against Fleischmann, and it's icing, so we get another look.
Milan Lucic's looking to get untracked, but it's David Krejci. You see that little subtle move, Jack, where he's going to the middle? He's thinking small triangle. Iginla's thinking direct drop pass behind me. That's where the communication breaks down, but I'll tell you, pay attention if you want to learn how to play this game. Stop on the puck and battle for it. That's a dangerous area to turn it over, and Krejci makes a big play.
Thornton asks Jovanovski to come on over and have a go. And Jovanovski has super glue in the palms.
14th goal of the season for Milan Lucic.
I'm sure it was just an equipment malfunction on Thornton's part.
And David Krejci at 7:41.
The linesman hands Thornton his gloves back.
You got to like this, though, if you're a Bruins fan, Jack. The energy, the emotion. Thornton with the challenge.
Bartkowski wrists it around through both corners. Gregory Campbell pops it back to Kelly. Dylan Olsen around for Scotty Upshall. Fleischmann knocks it down in center. Boychuk takes the hit to send the puck in deep and sends a RoboCam for a 360. Kelly on the hit along the end boards. Boychuk pinches down. Thornton hammers it toward goal. Kelly, Campbell, and Thornton, with Campbell switching over to the wing. The versatility of Gregory Campbell, literally doing anything he can to help his team win. Upshall to Kolyikov, the defenseman on Rask. He sticks it all the way out to the point. Weaver wrists it around and hops over Bartkowski's stick. Kolyikov, the defenseman, all the way down past the hash marks. Upshall with the reach for the puck. Bartkowski plays the body. Kopetsky turns it to the middle. A little flip from Drew Shore. Rask handles it easily, and Thornton spins the puck out.
A couple real good decisions defensively by Matt Bartkowski, closing at the right time. Boychuk on the back check. He prevents the 2-on-1. And the minute Bartkowski reads, he closes on Kolyikov.
There's a house out there wearing number 12. Jimmy Hayes, Boston boy, 3 years at BC. 6'6" and about 240. Wait till he grows up. Holy smoke. This is offside.
Well, help NESN by taking a quick 2-minute survey and enter for a chance to win 2 incredible tickets for the March 4th game against the Panthers here at the TD Garden. Visit NESN.com/survey during tonight's game for your chance to win.
Lucic is 14th from David Krejci, who registers his team-leading 33rd assist. And Jarome Iginla gets his 20th assist on the season at 7:41 of the first period. Kevin Miller to Torrey Krug, off the stick of Boys and into the Boston bench. Brooke, when you look at this Florida roster, you got Scott Gomez, Brad Boys, Jesse Winchester, Tom Gilbert, Mike Weaver, all of whom are going to be unrestricted free agents at the end of the year as Peter Horachek tries to resurrect this team that got Kevin Dineen fired for its terrible start. There's a lot of potential movement on this roster, and it seems as if the Panthers once again are going to be sellers.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what ownership's plan is, but it's like a lame duck roster, isn't it?
Yep, sure looks like it. Bergeron near the goal. Spinning to the backhand, turns back to the forehand. Marchand getting in the traffic there, and here's Riley Smith following the puck. Kevin Miller knocks it down. Down the boards to Smith across the middle. Marchand tries to lob it over Thomas, and the Panthers ice the puck. The Bruins feeling the rhythm, and nobody feeling it more than Brad Marchand.
Yeah, it looked like that puck just kind of flipped up a little bit, maybe got on edge, couldn't settle it and make the shot he wanted to make. But the quick puck movement, maybe that stick check by Gilbert, puts that puck on edge, and it doesn't allow Marchand the option of a one-timer or settling that puck to put the shot where he would like.
Pretty cold when the Bruins got back off their charter last night to A couple of people were joking with Marchand, would you just stand by my car for a couple of minutes and warm it up? Here's Chara with space, the bullet saved by Thomas. Juicy rebound past the hash marks, and it turns into transition. 3-on-2. Bergenheim sending it in behind the goal. Tuukka Rask to Dougie Hamilton, nudges it ahead to Bergeron, who's there in close support as he always seems to be. It's off a Florida stick, and about 15 rows high, somebody does the Tim Thomas with a nice glove stop. 9.5 to go first period. Milan Lucic's 14th of the season. His first goal in 5 games as the Bruins ahead 1-0. Zdeno Chara being honored at TD Garden for his 500th career point. It's a special sound, isn't it, when it really comes from the heart of a full house. The 192nd in a row here at TD Garden for a Bruins game.
Yeah, Jamie asked him following the game last night, what do you make of that 500 points in your career? He said, we won the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's always been about with the big man. Chara finds Krejci. Krejci into the attacking zone with McGinley. The trailer spins it back. Hamilton with the puck tumbling a little bit. Didn't get everything on it that he wanted to, and Thomas has to make another save.
Yeah, the numbers are popping, really, when you think about Chara and the responsibilities he's had really his entire NHL career. That shutdown defenseman, always play against the top talent, log big minutes, be physical. He's got almost 1,600 penalty minutes. And somewhere along the line, he's up around 174 on the plus side.
It is taking nothing away from Tim Thomas. This puck hits the linesman. Tough break that doesn't go Florida's way. Hamilton holds the puck, can't clear it past Fleischmann. Lucic gets to it before Upshaw can. Cross-ice pass, perhaps the first bad decision by a Bruin in the defensive zone tonight. Kolyakov cuts inside and whips off a wrist shot. It's to take nothing away from Thomas or Tuukka Rask or anything like that. But when Claude Julien took the job at the podium, being introduced as the Bruins head coach, he said Zdeno Chara is going to have a great year next year. Claude Julien doesn't say stuff like that. But he knew what he had. He knew he was going to put a system in place in which Chara could star, and man, has he ever. Chris Kelly lobs the backhand middle. Gregory Campbell knocks it down, but it comes to Ed Jovanovski.
The Milan Lucic, he's kind of feeling it tonight. He went for 2 big hits on his last shift and just missed both of them.
Well, you know, the Bull Gang's going to have some work to do after this game. They're going to have to readjust some of the glass. This is icing against Florida. People notice when number 17 gets on the tracks.
He had good legs last night. Thought he was going to get on the board with some opportunities, especially in that first period. Targeting Gilbert, Bukestad on that forecheck play. And then he went clear across the ice right in front of the Florida bench with similar type contact.
Puck touched with a high stick, and the face-off in the Florida zone. Bergeron and Gomez on the face-off. Campbell takes it back to Gilbert. Bergenheim into the skates of Krug. Miller goes D to D. Krug fakes through the seam, goes up the wall. Bergeron coming back behind the red line to receive the pass, and he hits Marchand into the attacking zone. Marchand for Krug. Bergeron takes a whack, and Gilbert finds it first. Campbell clears but not out. Miller hard off Bergeron's stick, and it springs back to center.
Well, the minute Torrey Krug saw that Brad Boyes had gone down at contact in the neutral zone, knew he had an opportunity to find open space in the offensive zone.
Krug keeps good body position, holding off Winchester, bangs it off glass. Kolyakov takes it as the Bruins change out. Marcel Goc lofts the backhand, going wide of Rask. Boychuk and Huberdeau go to the corner. Goc there to help out. The pass barely misses Winchester. Pye explodes through the seam. Penalty coming here. Eriksson drives it over the stick side of Thomas, and it hits the end boards. The Bruins will go to the power play here. Daniel Paille's speed, such an attacking attribute for the Boston Bruins.
Well, they love Paille's quickness. He's explosive. He can be in full flight in about 2.5 strides. And a lot of times all he has to do is lay that puck out in an area on a self-pass in order to create enough separation to draw penalties. It's exactly what he's able to do here. The stick work by Weaver on the back check because of the speed of Paille leads to a Bruin power play. A lot of times Bruins on that line with Paille, they just go cross corner. High lob. He's going to be the first guy down the ice every time.
Iginla's shot goes wide, comes right back past the post. Krug knocks the puck down out of the center dot. Bruins power play brought to you by Mazda.
Time of the penalty, 13 minutes and 7 seconds. Weaver minor penalty for hooking at 13:07.
Bruins are 3 for their last 6 on the power play with the lead. So what used to be a real problem for this team, extending the lead with the power play, has turned into a strength. Iginla fights through the check in the corner, but Kopecky intercepts, draws it wide against Krejci, zips the pass to Shore, but it's offside, and the face-off just outside the Boston line. Still a minute 23 to go on Weaver's penalty.
And just a reminder with that group, if there are turnovers and 2-on-2s or 3-on-3s or whatever they might be for the shorthanded grouping for the Florida Panthers, you got to remember David Krejci, as good as he is in a complete game, you got to get back. You got to back check with that same kind of back pressure as if it's 5-on-5.
Bruins have 5 power play goals in their last 5 games after going 6 games without one. Here's Bergeron off the skate of Eriksson so hard that Eriksson couldn't keep his skates underneath him. Bergeron indirect to Hamilton, draws it off the board, zips to Smith, back to Hamilton. Now it's Soderberg. Soderberg low for Eriksson, back to Soderberg with Bergeron, high slot. Eriksson turns and fires, and Thomas smothers the puck. 55 seconds to go in the power play.
Well, twice they try to work that overload and create the back to a possibility. The first one, maybe Riley Smith there a little premature. Eriksson did not have a passing lane. You see Campbell just kind of backing off, expecting it. And now when Campbell backs off, that gives a little bit more room short side. Eriksson tries to take advantage on the second overload play.
Classic game-to-game correction by the Bruins. Just 48% of the power play time last night was spent in the attacking zone. Their 4th lowest total of the entire season. Here's Eriksson at the dot. Hamilton turns it to Smith. The drive goes off Gotcha's stick. Soderberg to the end boards. Hammers it around through the corner. Eriksson lets it run for Hamilton. Hamilton works against Upshaw. Eriksson gives it low. Soderberg right in front. The block by Dylan Olsen. Eriksson gets it right back off Upshaw's stick. Soderberg to Bergeron in traffic. Thomas can't smother it. It's loose in the slot. The backhand by Smith. Saved by Thomas with 17 seconds to go on the power play.
This unit really working the blow plays, creating 2-on-1s in tight spaces. Whether it's the threat of the backdoor play, which the Panthers were able to nullify, but then Bergeron tries to find that seam in the slot. When you start thinking backdoor, it opens up more space for the third man, in this case Bergeron. And then the Bruins are quick on the puck. If it's not clean and it's up for grabs, they're closing on it quickly to maintain possession.
Peter Horacek was talking about that very thing on Florida's sagging power play. He said they're not playing nasty enough. They're not winning puck battles. The Bruins have improved so much year to year in terms of winning puck battles on the power play as David Krejci goes hard to the end boards. Kolyakov finds a seam, and he skids at the length of the rink. 3 shots on goal during the power play. Now, can the Bruins do what the Islanders did last night to gain attacking momentum off a power play that did not produce a goal? Krejci gets Kolyakov turned and flips him. Krejci all the way around the zone. Krug to Chara, the one-timer, scores! Lucic parked on the doorstep in a wrestling match, and the big man just fired it toward goal where good things happen. It's 2-0 Boston with a goal in the vulnerable minute right after the power play.
Well, I guess they can. The Krejci line on the ice again. Not sure if Lucic gets a piece of this drive by Chara or not, but he's working the front of the net. David Krejci able to get that puck down low, and even though this pass is a little forward for Chara, he makes a little shuttle step move in order to get this puck off and get it on net. Hard to tell if that hit Lucic first, did it hit Kulikov. It definitely got a piece of Thomas, but regardless if it's Lucic's goal or Chara's goal, the Bruins extend their lead.
The guess here is that it hit Thomas, hit Lucic, hit Thomas again, and then went in. But they're going to take a real close look frame by frame. They'll figure it out. Good layers for the Bruins. Kelly spins the puck to the blue line. Dylan Olsen picks it off. Olsen and Jimmy Hayes came in the trade from Chicago that sent Chris Versteeg back to the Blackhawks. Sean Thornton, cross corner, the long flip, and Kelly goes in after it against Brian Campbell. Campbell ahead to Brad Boyes. Boyes moves diagonally, then drops it off for Gomez. He darts up the right side on the off wing for him. Fires the backhand knee high through the goal mouth. Campbell down the corner to Gomez, right back into the goal mouth. With Gilbert takes a chop at the puck. Off the end boards, and Bartkowski controls. Bartkowski just slings it out of danger, and that'll skid the length of the rink for icing.
Vote for the Amica Coverage Play of the Week and enter to win a $100 gift certificate to the Pro Shop at TD Garden, courtesy of NESN. Enter now at NESN.com/Amica Coverage Cam.
Well, early on, they've given the goal to Zdeno Chara, which would be his 13th of the season. And in the
Goal scored by number
they're telling us that it went off of Thomas, off Kulikov, and then in.
Assisted by number 30.
And now they've just announced Lucic on the public address system. So we have a difference of opinion. Let's settle it with a fight. Brad Marchand charging on the backhand, flips it on Thomas, and he cuddles the puck to take a face-off. We still don't know for sure who scored the goal, but the Bruins have two, and Florida has none. Of that, we are certain.
2-0 Bruins on top of the Panthers. Zdeno Chara should get credit for this goal. It's that one time in the tie of Thomas, of Kulikov, down to the ice with Milan Lucic right in the middle of that contact. But sure looks like it's going to be Chara's goal, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah, the Super Mo does it again. What is that, 240 frames per second? Like that. Mike Weaver on the far side. Winchester, the pass deflects. Bruins seem to have about 8 skaters out there when the layers are set up just right.
Body position, stick position, create turnovers. But what you have tonight, Jack, is that quick decisions to move the puck to the right people at the right time in order to get something going offensively.
Bruins do seem very mentally alert. Winchester turns the backhand across the middle. I think Chara's going to go for a hooking call here. He went for a little water ski ride in that sequence. Thomas has gone to the Florida bench. Campbell working the puck into the neutral zone. Kopecky on the ice as the extra skater. Hamilton gets a poke on the puck, and that's judged to be possession. Chara goes for hooking at 17:31.
Well, we're into that latter stages of a period, Jack, where it becomes critical. You've worked real hard to get this 2-0 lead. There's the free hand pull by Chara, a little stick work at the end. He'll go to the penalty box. But we're in the final 2.5 minutes of a period with a 2-0 lead. This is where you want your penalty kill to come up big. Keep control of the hockey game. Keep momentum on your side. Keep believability out of the Florida Panther locker room between periods.
42 in a row without bearing any fruit on the power play for Florida. It has been a miserable year on the power play for the Panthers. Gilbert to Boyes, the snapshot deflects, goes off glass, and Campbell spanks a bouncer all the way down the ice.
When we talk about goaltenders tracking the puck, that puck gets up on the glass with stanchions and deflections. For Campbell to find that puck as quickly as he did and get to it and clear the zone, that's big.
Hope we get the chance as this game progresses to talk about Gregory Campbell's willingness to fight. So I believe it's been widely misunderstood. Brian Campbell out in the neutral zone. Gilbert. Brian Campbell rips the puck in. Boychuk tees it up and does that classic Johnny Boychuk thing, just hammering it down the boards. Minute to go on the power play. Upshaw broken up by Hamilton. And Chris Kelly back in familiar surroundings. Killing off a penalty, makes the clear. Here's Kulikov galloping through the neutral zone. The Bruins 4 across at the blue line. Kevin Miller does the Boychuk. Can't get it past Jovanovski. Hard diagonal into the legs of Kulikov. Brings it back to Bjugstad. Kulikov, the diagonal. Jovanovski's shot tipped off Bergeron's stick, and it goes over the bar. Final minute of the first period. Kulikov, Miller knocks it down and fires it the length of the rink. The Bruins will change out.
Again, real good stick by Miller, right where it should be. Be aggressive when you can. Do not overcommit, but keep that stick in the proper spot.
Kevin Miller turned 26 in November, qualifying by 2 months as an NHL rookie by age. But boy, he sure doesn't play like a rookie. One shot on the power play for Florida, and it's 43 in a row.
Bruins get exactly what they needed. Very little opportunities for Florida on a penalty kill late in the first.
Gotch trickles it forward. Huberdeau pulls the puck back against Krejci, and there's Iginla. Throws it to space. Krejci can't catch up to it. Gotch in the final 10 seconds right across the goal mouth. Weaver ahead to Huberdeau. 4 seconds to go. Lucic on the diagonal with the effort in the closing seconds of the period, and the Bruins take a 2-0 lead down the runway.
What a great message to send the Florida Panthers on home ice in the first 20 minutes. The Panthers know the Bruins just came off back-to-back 6-goal games. Points in 5 straight, 4-0-1 in their last 5. They've found their identity. They're playing strong hockey, and the Bruins didn't disappoint them in that first period.
Dale, nobody wants to break the spell. It's going pretty well right now. Alongside Andy Brickley with Jamie Erdahl at ice level and our NESN production crew, including returning producer Brian Zaccello. I'm Jack Edwards at TD Garden. The Bruins having a jolly time of it, up 2-0. You may have noticed we have these nifty little red lapel pins on in the booth, and Jamie's wearing a bright red top tonight. She has more from the Xfinity High Def Zone, brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, TV, internet, and voice. Jamie.
Rocking the red tonight for the Boston Bruins, hosting the 8th annual Heart Health Night presented by Tufts Medical Center. Cardiology patients and heart disease survivors will be in attendance for tonight's game. All proceeds benefiting, plus the 50-50 raffle, will go towards the American Heart Association. Boston Bruins management, coaches, and broadcasters are rocking these pins in support. You can visit heart.org for more information on the American Heart Association.
Jamie, thank you. Claude Julien with the little lapel pin and a smile on his face as the Bruins are up 2-0. You know, Brick, we pointed out that in the first period, Bruins goal differential is now plus 17, second only to San Jose, which is an unreal plus 28. Third period goal differential, Boston's plus 24, second only to St. Louis's plus 27. Both of those are second best in the league. So the second period, they're -1. So maybe this is a good meter of how intense they are about this game as we look at the first period summary brought to you by your New England Ford dealer.
Yeah, go back to the top of the broadcast, and we talked about identifying problems, addressing those problems, and rectifying those problems, and something the Bruins are working on, a better second period.
Jonathan Huberdeau saucers the pass to Marcel Gotch right into Dougie Hamilton's pants, and this is offside at the Boston line.
I think back to earlier in the year when, you know, Anaheim came in here and San Jose came in here, and in the pace of which they played early in the hockey game, you're like, wow, can the Bruins keep up in the speed game with those two teams? When they play their heavy style, they're better than anybody. They're right there with LA, maybe a St. Louis, but where is their speed game? And I'll tell you, the last 3 or 4, the quick ups, the decision making when they move the puck out of their own zone with their young mobile defense that they've added to the lineup, the more balance and the flexibility and the versatility they have in their forward combinations, they look just as fast as those teams from out west.
It's game 14 without Dennis Seidenberg, and after a long period of adjustment, the Bruins seem to have found their stride. Krejci for Lucic, the redirection, and Thomas makes a nifty positional save on the close-in redirection.
The subtle hands of David Krejci, just kind of looks people off. He waits, he delays. He allows Lucic the time to get inside position, and if you're not going to challenge Lucic, he's going to have a free stick. Nobody wants to get involved. All Krejci's got to do is get it by Jovanovski. He does, and then that net drive redirect by Lucic, set up by David Krejci.
Bjugstad and Krejci jamming for the face-off, and they'll do it again. Fleischman darting into the circle, but Iginla heads him off, so Boychuk can send the puck around. Krejci battling in front of the Zamboni doors, loses an edge. Weaver tips him over. Scotty Upshall through traffic past Bjugstad. There's Fleischman over the red line, and he sends it hard around. Upshall on the backhand, trickles it low. Bjugstad trying to escape the pressure of Jarome Iginla in the corner. Scotty Upshall, a real scrapper. Down low. Fleischman takes the hit to move it. Here's Upshall's drive, and Krug makes the block. Bjugstad working against Krug. Big size mismatch there, but Krejci comes in as the second layer, engages Bjugstad, kicks it to Krug. He takes the space, shovels it over to Miller, and Miller brings it center circle to Iginla. Iginla to Krejci. Looking for Iginla, tries to kick to the stick. Lucic has it to Krejci on the near side. Back to Bartkowski, the shot deflects. Thomas, Lucic finds it and tucks it in. He's got 2 on the night, and the Bruins are up 3-0. Go to the net.
Maybe 3. Some people think that he has 3. They originally announced the second Bruin goal as Milan Lucic. We were looking for this kind of production maybe a game ago, because you can't keep Lucic down for long when he plays with emotion, when he's invested, when he wants to get in on the forecheck and be physical, which he wants to all the time. Difficult to play that way 82 times. But he's such a force. He's so dominant. He can create his own rebounds by his net drive. I'm not sure there's a defenseman in the Florida lineup that wants to engage with this guy. And again, David Krejci involved with the subtle little hands, the soft passes, the set up one-timers. Bartkowski lets it fly from the left point. It gets deflected. That changes the rhythm of the save by Thomas off just enough that he can't squeeze that puck. And Lucic able to get to the blue paint for a layup.
Some enthusiastic fans heaving their hats out onto the ice, thinking that Lucic had a natural hat trick, 3 in a row, but they have officially changed the second goal to Zdeno Chara from Krug and Krejci. Campbell in the corner against Drew Shore. Thornton drives one off the outside of the goal. The strings trembling, and the crowd reacting to that. Drew Shore into the neutral zone. Kopetsky cuts back, gives the puck forward. The drive from Hayes, and a save by Rask. Deflection, and Tuukka Rask with the old pinball flipper, getting the left pad out to make the kick stop.
Yeah, Kopetsky rotated to the high slot, was able to get a redirect.
The wrist shot in on Rask, the rebound. Hayes going to the goal, but he can't get it past Rask. Florida with a burst of energy here, down 3 and desperate. Boychuk up but not out. Jovanovski doesn't get much of it. Olsen's shot flutters wide at the stick side post. This is Florida's by far best zone time and attacking mode of the game. Loose in front off the skate of Bartkowski. Kelly finds it, gets it ahead to Eriksson. He battles against Jovanovski, and now Gotch, and wiggles it in toward Thomas. The Bruins change.
Yeah, Winchester on the receiving end of a big hit by Johnny Boychuk deep in the defensive zone.
Huberdeau deflects the puck out over the glass on the near side, and the face-off at the center dot.
Pretty good pushback by Florida, but you can't wait till you get down by 3 to a team like the Bruins to have that pushback. Get a look at the body contact by Boychuk. Bruins are a little scrambly in their own zone. Pucks were bouncing all over the place. The most dangerous chance for Florida was that redirect from the left point shot by Kopetsky.
You know, hits are a bit of a dubious stat. Boyes tries to feed Gomez, but Paille is in the way. Bruins can't clear the zone. Hamilton tapping it forward to Eriksson. Gomez with a quick turn short of the red line. Chara gloves it down, gets possession away from Bergenheim in the slot. Soderberg off Paille's stick and out. I think perhaps they ought to just count the number of ice bags in the room after the game, and then they can count up the hits that way instead of doing it on the fly. Rick, what's the difference between the Bruins breakout in the first period and what's going on right now?
Well, they're just not executing. I don't think Florida's changed much in their forecheck. I think Boston just looking for the easier play instead of coming a little bit deeper, shorten up the passing routes, make the long pass when it's there, but keep the skating game where it was in the opening 20.
Pye turning toward the boards. Soderberg holding as the Bruins change out their defensive pair. Kevin Miller hopping onto the ice. Brad Boyce tosses the backhand to space. Gilbert taps it off the boards. Fleischmann turns and fires. Miller opened up the soft part of the glove to take the puck on the palm side, which sometimes can be kind of dangerous. Well, darn if you can't deny the reflex to do that, huh? Miller goes hard to the end boards, taking the hit from Bjugstad. We told you he was a big guy. Marchand darts it cross ice for Smith to Bergeron into the zone. Bergeron trying to return it to Smith, but a good skate check by Brian Campbell.
It was actually Miller, Jack, that initiated the body contact with Bjugstad in order to get to the puck first.
Miller's one of those guys who uses his body well, but also really understands leverage.
He's playing well.
The David Krejci line out there again. Krejci with assists on all 3 goals. So Krejci has his second 3-assist game of the season and of the last few days. He had one in Philadelphia on Saturday. This puck deflects off a Florida stick up and out of play. It was off Mike Weaver on the deflection.
Want to play blackjack with Patrice Bergeron or challenge Brad Marchand to a game of poker? You won't want to miss the annual Bruins Casino Night this Saturday at the Westin Boston Waterfront Hotel. Limited tickets remain. All proceeds will benefit the Boston Bruins Foundation. For tickets, visit the community section on bostonbruins.com.
Shore has his stick down on the circle as the visitor must first, and he wins the draw away from Krejci. Weaver. Hayes can't clear the zone. Boychuk cross corner. Jovanovski brings it near side. Weaver tries it again to Hayes. He can't control. Bartkowski on Thomas. He makes the stick stop and then snuffs it out. Shots are 24-10 in favor of Boston. Florida is 8 points out of the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference.
Well, the problem Florida has right now, Jack, being down 3-0, you know, you believe in your teammates, obviously. You feel like you can come back and win a hockey game, but, you know, the statistics say, you look at the scoring chart, what do they got? The highest scoring player's got about, what, 25 points?
Yep.
You know, you look around the bench or you're in between periods, you're looking at one another and you're saying, do we have enough offense to climb back into this thing?
Yeah, Alexander Barkov, who has been nursing an injury, not dressed for tonight, has 24 points. He's a very impressive young player. And Tom Gilbert, with the assist streak we mentioned, has tied him for the team lead with 24 points. But Gilbert, 22 assists and just 2 goals scored. Krejci loops it cross corner off the end boards. Kelly chips it off the boards. You know, Krejci with 3 assists. This game has a long way to go. The Bruins could have 3 consecutive games with a 4-point score. They had 8 straight with a 2-goal scorer earlier in the season, not too long ago. Kelly tries to feed Campbell. It wiggles all the way out to Miller, who had rotated. That's Thornton out at the blue line. Played a little bit of defense in his AHL career. Brian Campbell to the wing. Winchester tries to self-pass, and Krug keeps good position and then whacks Winchester's stick right out of his hands. Thornton swivels to Krug. No, that puck never left the zone. And unfortunately for the Bruins, the linesmen, who rarely get them wrong, got it wrong this time. Milan Lucic has 2. Some fans thought it was 3.
On top of the Panthers, we talked about Milan Lucic and how ferocious he can be in and around the offensive goal. This is a young player just making a mistake right here. Does not want to engage Lucic. Bjugstad's just going to turn the opposite direction, lose coverage, and just hope that Tim Thomas is going to hang on to this puck. You got to eliminate players. You got to protect the defensive zone. If you want to be an NHL player, whether it's Milan Lucic or anybody else, you got to get the job done. Well, players like Lucic will take advantage.
No icing here. You got to think that when Peter Horachek goes over video that he's going to do that privately with Bjugstad rather than in front of the team, because that just isn't going to look good in front of his peers. He knows what mistake he made. He's going to try to fix it. Eriksson Gets away from Bergenheim. It's 3-on-1 with Krug and Soderberg. Soderberg off the post. Oh, is Carl Soderberg feeling it right now? He dangled, he dared Thomas. He beat him clean over the glove, but he hit iron.
Well, Florida taking chances in the offensive zone, and it's an easy stick check that leads to the 2-on-1. Eriksson moves the puck at the perfect time to get it to Soderberg, and now Soderberg has options because Krug's jumping into the play for a 3-on-1, and he beats Thomas short side.
Riley Smith knocks down the clearing attempt. Now Upshall exits its own zone. He's got Fleischmann cutting in front of him. He lobs the puck into Bartkowski's corner. Boychuk on the diagonal picks it up, takes the hit. Bergeron wins the puck battle against Upshall, flips it out center circle. Olsen on it, the long blast in on Rask. He steers the rebound to the corner. Fleischmann tries to go through with speed, and Boychuk just shuts the door. Jovanovski wins the puck battle against Riley Smith and wings it off a Bruins stick into the protective netting.
Soderberg with a great goal against the Islanders to give the Bruins a 4-3 late in the second period. Head up, receives the pass. He knows he has some room short side because Tim Thomas has to respect either a return pass to Eriksson or maybe a pass back to the middle to Krug, so that leaves the short side a little vulnerable, and he rips it. He's got a bullet of a shot. Unfortunately, catches the iron and stays out.
Really exciting to see some of these players who are new to the Bruins this season have these bursts of improvement that come as a result of working on individual skills, learning the system, and then suddenly exploding with 2 or 3 games where you see they've got it. They understand how to play within the system.
Yeah, and they take coaching well. They receive it, and they want to learn in order to get better. When you have that kind of willingness, and that stems from your leadership group, you got good things going on.
Krejci chips it ahead to Smith. Marchand coming late, and Drew Shore does a nice job to pick the pocket of Riley Smith. Well, Peter Chiarelli's regime has identified a certain kind of player. It has to do with compete level that's very high, skill, high hockey IQ, and that willingness to learn and get better every day. Jovanovski bunts it ahead to Huberdeau. He cuts back against Hamilton. Iginla harassing from behind, and Hamilton's right there in front. There's no space in either direction, and the puck tumbles harmlessly out of play.
Help NESN by taking a quick 2-minute survey and enter for a chance to win 2 incredible tickets for the March 4th game against the Panthers here at the TD Garden. Visit NESN.com/survey during tonight's game for your chance to win.
So after the Bergeron line has lit it up for a half a dozen games tonight, it is the David Krejci combination that is producing prodigious points. Winchester back to Jovanovski with Iginla in his face. Winchester in the corner, dangles against Krejci, throws it, but Hamilton blocks the centering pass. Winchester gets it back, shoots. Rask is square to the puck. Jovanovski hammers it through the corner. It goes to Gotch. Winchester in front, whacks it wide. Good work from Huberdeau to find Winchester in front. Rask holds his ground against Huberdeau, who's in the crease still. Chara steers Gotch to the corner. Gotch holds the puck, top of the circle, sends it low for Winchester. There's a spare glove on the ice. Winchester trying to get out from underneath Chara. Hamilton turns the goal, nudges it forward to Iginla. Lucic busts forward to open this space up. Iginla to Lucic. He fires it off the stick of Olsen, and it rattles all the way back past Chara. Bergenheim to Boyes in transition with Gomez. Gomez looking for Boyes, and Johnny Boychuk gets the stick flat on the ice to deflect it. Here comes Lucic. The train hits the brakes. He turns the puck down to the corner. Campbell chasing. Gilbert leaves the puck in the corner. Thornton to Campbell. Campbell gets body position. Looks low for Thornton. Gilbert trying to turn it past the Zamboni doors, and he does to Gomez. Out to Bergenheim. Bergenheim center circle, and he flips it in.
Chara got caught a little bit off ice, and that led to numbers for the Panthers. 3-on-1 rush. That's knowing your opponent. I'm going to give Boychuk a little credit knowing that that's Scott Gomez, who'd much rather make a pass than shoot the puck, and he overplayed the pass and made a nice stick check.
Johnny Boychuk in his 7th season knows pretty much all the tricks. Thornton looking low for Campbell, who got held by Gilbert, and they let it go. Thornton in a battle as Thomas is really under fire once again. Upshall with speed to Fleischmann. The shot goes well wide off the deflection. in the face-off in the Boston zone. 30-second break. Berkshire Bank Rewind coming up in just a second. Rick takes a look at Milan Lucic's first of the night.
The Berkshire Bank exciting rewind. A number of plays that you could roll back and take a look at, but we're going to look at the first goal of the game. And it starts with Gilbert, the defenseman for the Panthers. Can't make a play in the offensive zone, and he misses the net. Now you have 3 Panthers down deep. Bruins have a potential 3-on-2. But it looks like it's going to be a turnover by Iginla on the drop pass to David Krejci. Milan Lucic looking for the net drive. Krejci's trying to slide more to the middle. Iginla unaware of that. That's where the breakdown occurs. But David Krejci's ability to understand this is a bad area for turnover. All I have to do is stop on this puck and battle. At least we won't be outnumbered going the opposite direction. But he wins the battle. And what's happening back in the defensive zone? Brian Campbell, a defenseman, he just kind of drifts thinking the puck's going to go back down the boards. You don't want to vacate the middle of the defensive zone. Gilbert does the same. Lucic stops in front of the net, as does Iginla. Advantage Boston.
Every month, Berkshire Bank is giving away a Kindle Fire HD. Plus, at the end of the season, Berkshire Bank will assist one lucky winner with their mortgage for a year. All you need to do is vote for your favorite exciting rewind. Go to NESN.com/Berkshire Bank to enter. Berkshire Bank, life is exciting. Let them help. When they make the video history of the Claude Julien era, there will be that famous moment at a morning practice out in Wilmington when Claude Julien banged his stick emphatically and said, "Protect the house." Florida not doing it there. Here's Bjugstad as the Bruins leave a vacancy. A rare occurrence tonight, and Tuukka Rask makes the stop.
Well, Tuukka Rask, you go back to that game in Philadelphia. Made some key stops early in a hockey game, perhaps. Was not overly taxed in that 6-1 thumping. But looked calm, cool, collected, and he looked at again right there when he needed to be.
Louis Eriksson hacks the puck out through the neutral zone. Mike Weaver has Bjugstad available on the right. Soderberg approaching. Kolyakov up the left wing from Bjugstad. Bjugstad tries to pull it inside. Miller gets in his way. Soderberg, Eriksson saucers it cross ice. Krug plays it on a bounce. Soderberg ahead of the rush. It's onside. Krug in the high slot. He's got Eriksson with him. Gets it back from Eriksson. Out of Miller. Miller holds the puck. Trickles it down to the dot. Good read by Mike Weaver. But now Soderberg's stick check knocks the puck loose. It comes off Fleischmann's blade. Scotty Upshall just bangs it off the wall and it hops over Krug. He taps over to Kevin Miller. Up the wall. Through the stick of Shore. Gilbert D to Weaver. Off Jimmy Hayes. Behind the red line, and it's icing. Toyota game break with Dale Arnold.
Thank you, Jack. Second period. Ottawa up 1-0. Jason Spezza finds Stepan DaCosta driving to the net. Stepan DaCosta, the pride of Merrimack, gets his second of the night. Makes it 2-1 Senators. They now lead 2-1. Jack.
Dale, thank you. Ottawa coming into tonight 3 points out of the playoff picture, trailing the Red Wings, who currently occupy the East's last playoff slot.
And not to get too far ahead of us, but that will be Boston's final opponent before the Olympic break.
Weaver and Marchand in the corner. Bergeron can't seal off the boards. Boychuk pinches down. Kopecky. Look at the layers the Bruins are providing. Each player who attacks the puck has someone in support directly behind him in case Florida gets it past him. Drew Shore, tumbling muffin down to the corner. Bartkowski tries to slug it around. Bergeron, Boychuk returns it toward Bartkowski. Bergeron gets some more facial damage. Got his nose re-broken in the first 8 seconds last night on the island. He was gushing some blood for a while. Riley Smith over the center of the line draws the attention of 4 Panthers. Marchand sprays it to the far side. Gotch knocks it back for Gilbert. Brian Campbell slings it ahead off Jesse Winchester's stick. Chara D to Hamilton. You see the triangle in the Boston zone. Iginla uses it to get it out, but Huberdeau intercepts. Off Winchester's stick, Gotch slings the backhand over the top of Rask's goal. Winchester hard to the corner. He plays a tough game down there. Here's the pass from Huberdeau back to Olsen. The drive and a save by Rask. He had a good view. Hamilton across the defensive zone. David Krejci cuts it back against Brad Boyes. Now gives to Chara, filling the gap. Takes the seam and hops past Krejci. Krejci down to the corner against Jovanovski. Coming against Florida. Chara's one-timer. Wow! Almost kills Iginla, screaming Thomas in front. There's no damage done. The Bruins will be on the power play when the game resumes, and Jarome Iginla's life has just flashed before his eyes.
Well, after the Bruins work the puck beautifully through the neutral zone between Krejci and Chara. Chara is able to gain the blue line, but catches a high stick for his troubles. Bergenheim on the back check. Stick's gonna ride right up into the face of Zdeno Chara. Enough of an injury as a result, so a double minor to Bergenheim, and what an opportunity for Boston. Up 3-0, 5.5 to go in period 2. A chance to blow this one open.
Well, you remember that Saturday matinee in Philadelphia. Bruins had no mercy, scored 2 goals in about a minute's time. Both on the power play in the third period. 5.5 to go in the second here. Riley Smith wires it around. He goes underneath Thomas's stick. Kulikov kicks it right to Soderberg. He gets it to the corner to Eriksson. Back to Soderberg. Off a stanchion. Bergeron with a good reach to get the puck to Hamilton. Hamilton wrists it over to Riley Smith. Smith closes to the half boards, back to Hamilton, over to Eriksson, top of the circle. Bergeron's in the high slot. Down low for Soderberg, takes it right to the post. Smith has the whole goal. Buckminster Fuller's happy somewhere because there were about 8 triangles in that sequence. It's 4-0 Boston, a power play goal.
If you're gonna dump the puck in, you gotta get it back. Riley Smith had no play coming through the neutral zone. His best play was the hard wraparound. Thomas couldn't get it. Now you got to hustle to get it back, and it all started with Soderberg getting in there. But then the Bruins get into the formation that they want again. Smith with a real good play. Takes the puck down the half wall, has nothing to the slot area. Doesn't want to go indirect behind the net. He just rolls the wrists over to get it back to Hamilton. There's your high triangle, along with Eriksson on the weak side. And now you find the puck, you set up the backdoor play. Wow. That unit has a lot of confidence from the half wall to the goal line to the back door to taking it short side to back to the high slot. Well executed power play goal.
How hard are the guys without the puck working to set up those possibilities? Lucic drops it off to Krug. Fires it across to Chara, who catches it on the backhand. He's on Kopecky and Jovanovski's side of the ice. Krejci with 3 assists on the night. To Krug, to Iginla. Gathers in the puck, goes past the dot, has Krug back at the left point, and Krejci across the blue line on the right side. Krug holds, now Krejci with Lucic down low. Krug holds, Chara's the man right in front of Thomas. Iginla tosses it slot. Lucic finds it, sizzles it right past the post. Krejci to Krug. Krug down to the corner, right into the crease. It's loose. Jovanovski fires it off Kopetzky's legs. Chara wins the puck in the corner, finds Krug. Krug's shot blocked. Chara's drive saved by Thomas. Lucic nudges it through the corner. Chara picks it up and holds. Again, Jovanovski and Kopetzky on that side of the ice. Krejci to Chara. His little half drive goes off a leg. Is anything about Chara little? That was probably misspoken there. Iginla gets his body in the way of Drew Shore. Krejci can't turn it to the middle. Shore to Kopetzky. Kopetzky works toward Dougie Hamilton. Crosses the blue line, dangles. Raska, good read to poke the puck away, and here comes Lucic. Lucic cuts it back against Scotch. Lucic gains the line, shields the puck, tries to turn it back, finds it in the corner, takes the hit from Kulikov. It goes loose against Weaver. Lucic a little slow to get up. Hamilton below the hash marks. Lucic holds the puck, brings it out high to Bartkowski. Bartkowski manning the middle of the blue line of the power play. Lucic across the ice. Hamilton across the goal mouth looking for Marchand, who's got a wicked goal scoring streak going. Marchand trickles it back. Riley Smith knocks it down. 3 seconds to go on the power play. Marchand holds it at the hash marks. Bergeron's drive deflects. It's 5-on-5 again. Hamilton off Bergenheim, who's fresh out of the box and probably a little bit embarrassed. Now here's Bergeron. Gives it right to Boyes of Florida. Bergenheim pulls up, cuts back, kick, saved by Rask. Gilbert steers the puck to the far board. Boyes picks it up for Florida. Bjugstad gives it away to Marchand. Bad place to turn over the puck. Just inside the attacking zone. Marchand trickles it down to the corner. The Bruins wanted to change. Marchand battling against Gilbert. It pops up 10 feet high, drops in the skates of Bergeron. He wins it against Brian Campbell. Riley Smith wins the puck battle. Krug, nice little move to get inside Fleischmann, but he can't get off the shot. Upshaw breaks it up. Now it's Fleischmann on the off wing. Cuts to the inside. Bergeron down, then up. Fleischmann's shot saved by Rask. Bjugstad can't whack it home. Too many layers for Boston. Upshaw back to Campbell. The one-timer. He fouls it off, and the puck back to center. Hand pass back to Gilbert, and the face-off will come back into the Florida zone, I believe.
Well, when you see power play goals like this, you just love what your power play is doing. This is the wraparound by Smith, but there's the pressure, both from Eriksson and Soderberg. That wraparound's coming. You need two bodies in there. You got to try to outnumber your opponent, and you got to get puck possession, and then you stretch it out. Love that pass right there, Jack. Riley Smith, roll those hands right over. Everyone thinking the play's either got to go down the wall behind the net, maybe to the slot, maybe a wristed on goal. But to get it back to Hamilton in that situation really kept the formation of the man advantage alive.
By the way, as any NHL on-ice official would tell you, I would make a lousy ref. The face-off was in the neutral zone, not in the Florida zone. Rask makes a save on a redirected puck. Miller in the corner, up the wall for Thornton, battling against Kulikov. Miller pulls the puck to Chara. Campbell. Kulikov checking him. Produces the turnover. Huberdeau in the slot. The puck all the way past the dot. Miller holding his position. And Rask takes the puck with a minute to go. A minute and a half to go in the second period.
The TD Bank Community Clubhouse and the Boston Bruins would like to welcome Special Olympics Massachusetts Cape Cod champs to tonight's game. At TD Bank, we're committed to supporting the communities we serve by making a difference together.
Smith on the power play from Soderberg and Eriksson at 14:54. And the Bruins with 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Bruins have scored 16 goals in their last 3 games, and as Brick informed you as we came on the air tonight, not only the second best goals against average in the National Hockey League, but the 5th best goals for average in the NHL. This puck hit something metallic and nobody could find it. It's out of play. I'm just glad it didn't bounce down off the back of Tuukka Rask into the goal. Patrice Bergeron leaking. He's got some fresh blood on his shirt. Looks good on him though. Olsen nudges it cross ice. Jovanovski bounces it past Boychuk. Gomez to the end boards. Hayes tries to spin it middle. Too many Bruins in the way. Jovanovski fishing with the backhand, and the puck gets away from him. Final minute of the second period. Ed Jovanovski missed a whole year coming back from unusually intricate hip surgery. Might be the first hockey player, especially of his age, to have such an operation and resume his career. Jovanovski more than 1,100 games in the National Hockey League. Nick Bjugstad over the line, cross ice pass, scores. Brad Boyes lights the lamp. Boyes had 103 points in 144 games as a Bruin, and he knows how to find the back of the net. The Bruins are the letdown, only 33 seconds from the end of the second period. It's 4-1.
Yeah, you go back to the Lucic second goal. We highlighted Bjugstad in a defensive play where he just allowed Lucic to get to the front of the net. That's not to say that Bjugstad is going to be a really good player in this league. His offensive skill set is tremendous. He's got good size. He's going to be a good player. Sometimes you just need some teaching moments on the defensive side of the puck, but what a nice play. A subtle little fake, like a potential wrist shot might come once he got in around the tops of the circles, but he delivers a perfect one-timer pass, and you got to be a good goal scorer, which Brad Boyes is, to handle a pass with that kind of speed on it and get enough on it to get it into the back of the net before Rask can get across.
Boyes in his 10th season signed on with Florida with a professional tryout contract, which means basically no guarantees. Let's see if he can make the team. Got a 1-year deal out of it. A lot of people think that a team with need of help on the power play is going to pick him up at the deadline. McKinley fires it off the apron of the goal. And the siren sounds to end the second. The Bruins will take a 3-goal lead into the room after 2, after being up by 2 after 1.
Well, you highlighted where the Bruins need to improve, and that is second periods, because their first periods are starting to be real dominant. Their third periods have been great all year long. And the Bruins' second periods lately, no wonder that they're putting wins and points together here before the Olympic break.
Dale, Bruins have hit their stride. It's just a matter of finishing this one in style. How does Bruins assistant coach Doug Jarvis feel about a 4-1 lead after 2 periods? Brick spoke to him moments ago.
Doug, it almost seemed like if you roll the calendar back to that Dallas game after losing at home to Toronto, the compete factor has really been elevated by your club, and now the offense is in gear. Why do you suppose that the goals are where they are right now for Boston?
Well, I think we're working at it, in a much more strong fashion, and the big thing I think is our feet are moving. In the offensive zone, I feel like we aren't standing trying to make plays now. We're actually moving with the puck, and it's opening up lanes for us, creating some good seams where we can make passes and end up with good scoring chances.
As a coaching staff, before the game starts, do you get a sense that a guy like Milan Lucic is going to have a monster game? And you talk about moving his feet and being a dominant guy in and around the offensive goal.
Yeah, and I think that's certainly what you're seeing tonight from Luch is his push to the front of the net. He's around the net, and things are happening for him, and things are happening for others because he's there. Rebounds are there, loose pucks, and we're putting them in.
Well, third periods have been strong all season long. A 3-goal lead. Good luck in the third period.
Thanks, Andy.
The Amica Coverage Camp presented by Amica Insurance. Great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance.
Well, we're going to go back to the second period. The Bruins on their power play, 7th best in the league, and it just continues to get better with the 2 units. A hard wraparound by Riley Smith as he gains the red line. The key here is for Eriksson to put some pressure on and Soderberg to get into the passing lane. You got to outnumber Florida as best you can, and there's Bergeron for support as the third man. He's able to get to that loose puck. Now you want to get that high triangle. Riley Smith's looking for a play to the middle. It's not there, but watch his hands. He's going to roll his hands back in order to create a different passing lane back to Dougie Hamilton, and now you got that triangle set up that you want. This is all about creating 2-on-1s in that triangle fashion. You got a 2-on-1, Smith and Hamilton, 2-on-1, Hamilton and Eriksson. Do the same thing, create another triangle. As Bergeron sets up camp on the high slot, here's the wide triangle. Eriksson at the half wall, Soderberg along the goal line, Smith back door, and the key is the minute Soderberg gets it, Jack, he explodes to the net to take advantage of that 2-on-1.
All together now. What's the most powerful shape in the universe? A triangle. Dmitry Kolyakov for Florida, which hopes to get an early one here in the third and get back in this game after scoring in the final minute of the second. David Krejci rips it around through the corner. Lucic trying to take the feed from Iginla. It goes off the strings. Iginla bats it into Thomas's pads, keeps it alive. Now Huberdeau right in front of his own goal. Scotch over skates it. Kolyakov rescues the puck but runs right into Krejci's check at the blue line. Huberdeau with the quick turn toward the Boston line, but again, too many layers. Hamilton there and Chara behind him.
Yeah, the back pressure, it has to be there. Those are those good habits. One of the main reasons the Bruins want to roll 4 lines is to have that constant back pressure regardless of the score of the game.
Dylan Olsen cross ice, and Jovanovski gives it back to the young defenseman. Hard off the end boards. Jovanovski doesn't get much on it as Kelly pressures. Olsen comes out from behind his net. Back to Jovanovski. Indirect off the boards to Boys. He flips it behind Boychuk. Boychuk settles the puck, whips the backhand around to Kelly. Kelly spins it center circle. Campbell takes it right back for Florida. Straight ahead for Gomez. He redirects into Boychuk's corner. Boychuk draws Bergenheim. It's off the stick of Bartkowski. Gilbert, the defenseman, all the way down to the corner. Bartkowski caves him in. Bergenheim centers. Boychuk takes it away and knocks Bergenheim's stick rattling right out of his hands. Gomez rotating back to the left point through the corner. Boychuk's gets it done to him by Bergenheim. Bergenheim muscles it in front, saved by Rask, taking away the bottom of the goal. Florida with good energy to begin the third.
The Bruins wingers got to anticipate. Down by 3, the Panthers D, if they have a chance to pinch, they're coming. Get your head on a swivel. Either have that engagement one-on-one out by your defensive blue line or come a little lower to make a direct pass from your D.
Tom Gilbert rolls it all the way around through both corners. Upshaw gets it through the legs of Pai. The drive from Kolyakov A save by Rask, and it deflects up and out of play.
Thursday night at 6:30, join Dale and Barry when WB Mason presents Bruins Face Off Live. They'll get you ready for the matchup with the Canadiens, preview Team Switzerland's chances in Sochi, and take a look back at the Bruins month of January. Get ready for the drop of the puck with us Thursday at 6:30.
Bruins, Canadiens, TD Garden. Waited all season for this. Sean Thornton muscles it out to center. Nick Bjugstad goes indirect back to Kolyakov. The one-touch pass to Upshall, drops it off to Weaver. Kolyakov now looks ahead, swivels around Thornton. Bjugstad drills it around through the corner, but Rask is on it. Wrists it to Paille. It pops off his skates. Campbell to Thornton, tries to bust through the seam, but he gets Weaver from one side, Bjugstad from the other, and a penalty coming against Thornton here, I believe. And the Bruins shorthanded 2.5 minutes into the third period. A chance for Florida to get back into this game.
A nice little chip pass by Paille along the wall. That's what we're talking about, making plays. And as Thornton tries to explode through the neutral zone to get to this puck that's out in front of him, as he lays it out there, he has his stick knocked from underneath on the back check by Weaver, and it rides up into the face of Kulikov, and that's why Thornton was arguing. I didn't do this.
Well, players are responsible for their sticks, whether or not they're in full control of them. Sometimes those get called. Huberdeau goes underneath Eriksson, and Chara picks up the loose puck and fires it down the ice.
Time of the penalty, 2 minutes 35 seconds.
Bruins have allowed 13 power play goals in their last 11 games. They are working against the weakest power play in the league, but here's Campbell closing right in front. And typical of the way Florida's power play has worked all year long, Jesse Winchester with a wide open side breaks the stick on the one-timer. Boys all the way to the corner. Shoves it past Chara to Huberdeau, gets the return in his skates, sizzles it back to Gilbert. Boys knocks the puck, the stick out of the way. Gilbert's drive goes off Eriksson, rides the dasher. Kelly to Eriksson, and he sends the puck up ice. The Bruins get a full change.
Well, the Bruins got lost and a little flat-footed in their coverage right around the defensive blue line. Allowed Campbell an easy walk-in. That created all kinds of problems.
Gomez tries the self-pass, darts past Bartkowski. Miller attacks the puck against Bergenheim. Kolyakov off the boards. Gomez to Bergenheim. Bergenheim had that sensational playoff run in 2011. Gets the puck to Boyce at the top to Gomez. Gomez to Bergenheim. The triangle starting to form for Florida. Kolyakov scores! Dmitry Kolyakov ends a 43 power play drought for Florida. The Panthers have clawed their way back into the game. It's 4-2 with 16 to go.
Frustrated Sean Thornton making his way across the ice. You don't want to be in the box anytime you give up a power play goal. This one hurts a little bit because you didn't feel like you were worthy of the penalty call. That being said, Kulikov with that little snapshot, not sure if that deflected or changed direction at all. Maybe from behind we can get a look. Marchand trying to get in the shot blocking position. Miller trying to do the same. And that puck was just high enough and just wide enough and just inside the post enough to beat Rask to the blocker side.
Kolyakov's 5th of the season, his 3rd power play goal. Thomas Fleischmann fires it across the slot. Lucic can't turn it out of the zone. Boychuk straight ahead to Krejci. Krejci's got 3 assists on the night. Works toward Jovanovski and can't get it through him as Jovanovski plays the body well. Dylan Olsen takes the hit to move the puck to Upshall. Good read by Krug stepping up, and here comes Krejci right back into the zone. Lucic into the corner. Upshall on Lucic, who sets his edges. Leaves it for Krejci with a Kinley in front. Back to Krug. The one-timer deflects and goes wide of the goal. Olsen takes the hit from Lucic to get it up the wall to Fleischmann, but Iginla confronts him. Now Iginla and Fleischmann in the corner. Iginla knocks the puck loose. Jovanovski takes it on the backhand. Iginla in pursuit.
John Bergenheim, and number
Bjugstad shoves it back. Dylan Olsen up the boards to Jovanovski to the attacking line to Fleischmann. Working Boychuk's side, fires on Rask. We'll have to take a defensive zone face-off. 5 minutes gone in the third. Florida has life.
Here are what the guys who wear their black and gold say when they're inside the locker room or when they take the ice by tuning into the next episode of Behind the B, presented by Alex and Ani. February 6th at 7 p.m. right here on NESN. Catch previous episodes online by visiting Boston Bruins TV, bostonbruins.com/behindtheb, or the Bruins mobile app.
Kulikov from Bergenheim and Gomez, a power play goal at 4 minutes exactly. And it's a 4-2 game. Kopecky spins it off a couple of legs. Weaver holds, drives it. A save by Rask. That sounded as if it changed direction on the way through. Not sure if it did. You could hear a stick make contact with something.
The Bruins got to up the ante a little bit right now. Some believability by the Florida Panthers. You heard Doug Jarvis between periods talking about moving your feet in the skating game. Boston needs to elevate that right now. They need a shift or two where they spend some time in the offensive end or less time in their own.
Chris Kelly mucking against Drew Shore, who's a big body. Kopecky turns the backhand to the slot. Boychuk takes it just past the webbing of Tuukka Rask. Mike Weaver up to the Boston line. Chris Kelly in the perfect position. Has to wait for Soderberg to clear the zone. Flips it off the boards. Kulikov and Eriksson to the corner. Kulikov in front of his own goal to Drew Shore. Off the corner boards. Bartkowski with the pinch. The Bruins rotate. Both Eriksson and Kelly there. Weaver dives to knock it off of Eriksson's stick. Shore at the red line to Kopecky. He breaks forward with Hayes. Kopecky to the end boards to the 6'6", 240-pound Jimmy Hayes. Hayes comes out of the corner with the puck. No surprise. Campbell can't control it at the blue line. Florida's taken 13 consecutive shots on goal in this game. Brian Campbell off the stick of Bergeron. He wins it for Marchand, breaking with Smith. There's the triangle. Marchand shot saved by Thomas. He wheels around and dives on it with 13:43 to go. 2 unanswered goals. A late one by Brad Boyce in the second, an early one by Kulikov in the third. The Bruins trying to rally and find that attacking mode they had earlier.
Earlier on Bruins Face Off Live, we introduced tonight's NESN Mobile Bruins poll. Which of the last 3 Calder Trophy winners is the best? Reply A for Jonathan Huberdeau, B for Gabriel Landeskog, or C for Jeff Skinner. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. Text help for info and visit NESN.com/for terms and conditions and a privacy policy.
Chara's wrist shot tipped in front by Riley Smith, and Tim Thomas tracking it well. Zdeno Chara has not gone for that gigantic slap shot as much this season. It's been a conscious change that the captain has made. Quicker release, more concerned with getting it tippable and getting it on goal. One of the disadvantages of that 108.8 mile an hour shot is that if it's not on goal, it's going to produce a 50-foot rebound off the end boards, and that could mean a 3-on-2 coming back.
And if it's high, players get a little reluctant to get in front.
As Jerome McKinley found out earlier. Gregory Campbell indirect, trying to get it to Riley Smith. Gomez picks it off. Here's Boyce on the off wing, cuts to the middle, the backhand, and Chara gets a stick in the way. Rask loses his balance. A rare skating error by Tuukka Rask, who's one of the very elite skaters among NHL goaltenders. Tom Gilbert touches the backhand to Brian Campbell up the boards for Thomas Kopecky. Paille picks his pocket. Campbell can't get it past Campbell. Gregory stealing from Brian. Kevin Miller delayed offside. Paille's back in the neutral zone, and Kopecky ices the puck.
Tonight, following Bruins coverage, join Adam and Jameson for NESN Sports Tonight, presented by People's United Bank. They'll have more on the Bruins, the details on an NFL player opinion poll in which Bill Belichick ranked among head coaches, and a complete recap of the Celtics and Knicks. Stay with NESN for all you need to know tonight following the postgame.
Campbell gets tossed out of the faceoff, so Thornton will take it against Bjugstad. Bjugstad's had an impressive recovery from a mental mistake earlier in the game. Tom Gilbert feeds Upshaw. He scoops the backhand, trying to go cross ice to Bjugstad, but a good read from Kevin Miller. Upshaw with the quick turn back toward the attacking zone. You can see Florida's got its ears pinned, and the Panthers are coming hard. There's Gilbert past the hash marks, as Brick pointed out earlier. Gilbert, the backup drive, a shoulder save by Rask down in the butterfly. Kopecky in the corner swivels it back to Brian Campbell. looks for a tip in front, too much traffic. Campbell settles it down off Miller's clear. Now Thornton gains the line. He's got Paille going down the slot. Thornton works through stick traffic, throws a shoulder hard into Gilbert, comes out with a puck, dangles, and scores! Sean Thornton on a magnificent individual effort. They sent him to the box early, but he might have put the game in the box with that goal. Wow! He can play. Let's see John Scott do that.
Hockey justice, really, if you think about it. Heads up play by Campbell to make the short pass. Thornton take the puck wide, back the defense off. This is where Florida gets in trouble. They should be able to nullify that play at the offensive blue line for Boston. They can't do it, and Thornton just flat out stays with it. Absorbs the hit by Gilbert, absorbs the second hit, fakes a little shot on Campbell. Campbell not the best defensive player in the league. He falls for that little pump fake, but the finish was a thing of beauty. Pull it to the backhand and shelf it.
Against a two-time Vezina Trophy winner. Thomas out of his cage. 6 on Saturday, 6 on Monday, 5 on Tuesday with 11 and a half to go in the game. Jimmy Hayes swings it down through the corner. Shore and Boychuk lock up behind Rask. Bartkowski does a nice job of fishing it out of their skates. And a jeering crowd. Thomas, can you be serious? Again, the closing below the dot, fires it right through the sea of legs in front of Tim Thomas. McKinley tapping the puck to the corner. Jovanovski stabs it away from Lucic and then emerges from the crowd. 4-on-3 coming up ice, but the Panthers need a change and they just toss it in deep. Campbell gets the assist on Sean Thornton's goal.
Time of the goal, 8 minutes, 14 seconds.
Huberdeau bounces it in toward Rask.
Assisted by Gregory Campbell at
Erickson in front of the Zamboni doors.
Couple of good shifts right here by Boston, Jack, are huge. Takes some time off the clock, and you really pressure Florida and make them think they have no chance to come back now.
Kolyakov flips the backhand out of the zone. Hamilton around the boards. Thomas knocks it down for Weaver. Goes indirect, but it goes through the seam. Erickson attacking the puck as it comes up the board. Soderberg wins the battle. Huberdeau tries a self-pass. Hamilton plays the body, but following up, here comes Winchester. He closes, fires, saved by Rask. The rebound, Huberdeau. Rask puts the glove down on it. 9:59 to go in the game. Sean Thornton with one of the most magnificent single-handed efforts of the season to put the Bruins up 5-2. Dale Barry, thank you very much. Sean Thornton, what a thing of beauty this was.
Well, Weaver on the back check lifts his stick right into Kulikov's face.
Attaboy.
And should not have been a penalty in my estimation, certainly. And here's the justice. Right when the Bruins needed something big, something good to happen, Thornton delivers on an individual basis. Little curl pump fake, drag to the backhand, right up under the crossbar, blocker side.
And Gregory Campbell, the assist on this. Campbell, you see bent over right on the dasher there. You know, Campbell's winning percentage, no, it isn't great in fights, but the reason he takes fights is because if somebody out there on the opposition is looking for trouble, often Campbell decides that the trouble's going to end with him, rather than a guy who might score, say, 35 goals if he reaches his potential in a season for the Bruins. He doesn't want a guy like that possibly busting his hand and being out for 6 weeks. You got to think about Gregory Campbell's value system and how he recognizes situations in tenths of seconds. And if you often see him taking on a guy who's 4 inches and 30 pounds bigger than he is, it's not because he wants to take a pounding. He's trying as hard as he can in the fight. And the fact of the matter is, in a way that you might not think to be usual, he is protecting his teammates for the betterment of the team, not just in that game, but also with the big picture in mind. Riley Smith tries a fancy move and loses an edge against Jovanovski. And there's Campbell on the end boards. Bjugstad shoves the puck to the end boards. David Krejci only has 2 assists because they've taken an assist away from him online. And they gave it to Jerome McGinley, so McGinley now has 2 assists, and Krejci has been reduced to 2. And, you know, Gregory Campbell, so many things he does just don't show up in box scores. but that's why he's one of the most valuable players on this roster.
And that's why it's the ultimate team sport. You know, players don't need to be validated by statistics. They need to be validated by their teammates and their coaching staff. And that's where it's apparent in the win column. There's your stat.
Yeah. W's. Kolyakov works it up and through the neutral zone. Fleischman to Kolyakov. Boychuk wraps him up. Campbell's right there as the next layer. Bartkowski, good hands to knock the puck down. But here's Shore. The drive. Campbell in front of Rask. Paille willing to risk a high-speed collision. Produces a 2-on-1 with Thornton. Turns into a 2-on-2 as Hayes gets back on the play. There's Campbell, the next layer. Fires it toward the front. Weaver goes north and south with it. Hayes picks it up. Swivels it over to Shore. Shore on his off wing. Fires it cross ice looking for Fleischman. Hayes gets a piece of the puck. Shore holds it forward to the goal line. Olsen's shot rattles around off Rask and Hamilton, and Paille's there to spray it to the corner. Thornton scrapes it up. Paille works toward the red line. The backhand pass to Thornton. Here he goes again. The bomb in on Thomas. And Thomas will take a face-off in Florida's end of the ice.
Enter the Sullivan Tire Bruins Dream Day sweepstakes for your chance to win 2 Nesson luxury suite tickets, a chance to hang out with Nesson's broadcast team, and a private meet and greet with Bruins forward Gregory Campbell. Visit Nesson.com/Sullivan Tire tonight for your chance to win.
Tell you what, Brick, you know, the Bruins aren't playing absolutely perfect hockey, but it sure is fun to watch right now. Krejci wins the draw, bounces back to Hamilton, back to Krejci, who comes right to the half wall to make himself available, then steals the pass from Olsen. Again, LaFans on the one-timer. He and Gotch go to the corner. Krejci's right there again on the other side of the ice. Shot deflects off the end glass. Boston centers do such a marvelous job of going side to side to make themselves available for an easy pass. Huberdeau breaks his stick. Bruins have a de facto power play. Huberdeau does nicely to get a piece of the puck. Takes a pop at Iginla as he's playing without a stick. Chara gloves the puck down in the neutral zone. And Gotch is able to deflect it into the Boston end. Chara fires it forward looking for Krejci. It does not connect, but Brick, you've talked many times about the work that the Bruins centers do to make life easier on the wings when they do win those puck battles along the wall.
Yeah, again, it's the system and learning how to play in the system and then use your skill set, you know, in order to maximize what you bring to the ice. And there are some demands on you when you play the center position, but if you can welcome that and then use those demands actually to your advantage, you're going to have centermen like the Bruins have.
And I believe we get a timeout here. And I think it's the Bruins who have called it. Gives us a chance to look at the road ahead, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Guess who's coming to town Thursday, Brick? And it's our game.
Yeah, looking forward to Thursday night's tilt against the Canadiens. Once there's 7 minutes of work done here tonight, you make sure you put your 2 points in your pocket. Followed up by 3 Western Conference teams, Edmonton, Vancouver, St. Louis, before Ottawa wraps up before the Olympic break. That St. Louis game on the road will be tough.
There's Eastern Conference, top 3 from each division automatically make it, and then the next 2 best records, both of which are from the Atlantic Division right now. Montreal, which is in a tailspin. What is it, 4 losses in a row going into tonight? And Detroit there. And Ottawa, as we told you earlier tonight, 3 points behind Detroit. Columbus and Philadelphia both with 56 in the Metropolitan. Jovanovski regrouping in his own zone. The Bruins matching up and changing out here. Scott Gomez fires away, and that sails over Rask. Eriksson on the far side just belts it off the boards and gets it back to the Florida line. Kolyakov mishandles it. Soderberg gets through and gets tripped. Well, one little bobble can really hurt you. Carl Soderberg learning the system and getting right in the face of Dmitry Kolyakov.
Well, you're making a line change, so you have to be interchangeable if you're the wings, and Eriksson was able to get to the left wing boards on the breakout, chip it hard off the wall, and then it's the puck pursuit that allows Soderberg to create this power play. If you kind of just sit back and go into a 1-2-2 and don't pursue the puck, you don't get to that little unforced turnover, and then you don't have the advantage to make that little stutter step move and draw the tripping call.
Bruins 1 for 3 on the power play tonight with 5 shots on goal.
Florida penalty number
Mike
7.
Weber
Dimitri Kornilov,
clears the puck 200 feet.
Time of the penalty,
Dougie
13
Hamilton
minutes,
and
18
Riley Smith
seconds.
back to retrieve. Bergeron swings up the right side. Eriksson on Bergeron's left, and Soderberg is on the far side. Here's Eriksson in the corner. Bergeron at the dot. Eriksson with Riley Smith going to the far post. Soderberg tries to turn it inside, but leaves the puck behind. Smith against Weaver. Smith shields it nicely. Hamilton turns the stick to keep possession. Smith comes off the half boards. Bergeron fakes to the goal. In front for Soderberg off Smith. Sweet feed. Hamilton extends but can't keep the puck in the attacking zone. And Winchester cleared.
A lot of confidence in that group to make plays tight to the net, create those 2-on-1s. And even if it's a short 5 to 7 foot pass, it's effective.
David Krejci gains the line. Lucic going past the dot and now sets up high slot. Krejci to Krug. Back to Krejci, the right shot on the left side. McKinley looking for Lucic, but it comes off the skate of Kopetsky, enabling Shore to clear. 5.5 to go in the game. The Bruins in control 5-2. Sean Thornton scoring a big goal after Florida had popped one in late in the second and one early in the third on the power play. Chara down in the corner. Back to Krug. Krug to Krejci, top of the circle, fakes the shot. Krug to Chara. Back to Krug alone at the blue line. Krejci now past the dot as the Bruins ratchet forward. Chara's shot, glove stopped by Thomas, and the face-off in the Florida zone with 17 seconds to go on the power
A
play.
little impatience by the crowd. They wanted to see a shot. The Bruins turning down a number of them. The Panthers doing a decent job getting in shooting lanes. Maybe Krug could have one-timed that one. But the Bruins are looking for a better opportunity. Chara thinks he has a chance to go high glove, but Thomas able to get it.
Net special teams counting all goals. Florida is 30th and last in the NHL, including what's gone on tonight at -20 on the season. Daniel Paille saucers it cross ice. Boychuk snapshot off Thornton in front. Thornton getting a little reward power play time along with Campbell and Paille, and why not? They've played so well. Final seconds of the power play, and now they look to keep the energy up as Kolyakov comes cross ice. Boychuk hammers it high around through the corner. Campbell takes a big hit to keep the puck alive. Upshaw slides it back to Gotch. Gotch has trouble with Paille, and Paille takes it on the backhand. Pulls up against Gotch on the wall. Gomez intercepts. Upshaw chucks it back into Gomez's skates. Thornton stabs it back to Boychuk. Slings it across to Bartkowski. D to Boychuk. Thornton redirects it ahead. The Bruins peel off and get a line change. It's the Bergeron line once again. Gilbert up to the red line. Risks it off a couple of players. Hits glass. It's offside. 3:59 to go. The Bruins looking to salt this one away. Up by 3 goals late in the third.
Join the Bud Light team at the Greatest Bar, the North Star, Hurricane O'Reilly's, and McGann's in Boston this Monday night between 4:30 and 8:30 for the Beanpot semifinal pregame parties. You can win tickets to the Beanpot and other great prizes. Bud Light presents Nesson's coverage of the 2014 Beanpot Tournament. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Must be 21 years and over to participate.
Wait a second. There are parties associated with the Beanpot?
Rumor has it.
I never knew. Tom Gilbert nicely through the seam to Sean Bergenheim. The drive well wide on the glove side of Rask. Boys knocks it down far side. Bergeron and Boys battle for the puck. Bergeron comes up with it off Gomez's stick. Bergeron feathers it around through the corner. Campbell pinches down past the hash marks. Brian Campbell can't center. Gomez unable to shove it past Bergeron. Bergeron up the wall. Marchand backs off. Gilbert can't get it through Bergeron. And now Kevin Miller skates it up into the neutral zone off Bergenheim's legs and back into the Boston end with 3.5 to go. Krug, the 100-foot pass to Riley Smith, going 1 against 4, waiting for reinforcements. Hayes pries it away, and Shore trickles it down into Hamilton's corner. Then around for Chara. Chara past Fleischman to Soderberg. Soderberg back to Chara. He turns away from Shore. Gives it to Soderberg in front of the Boston goal to Hamilton. Hamilton crisscrosses in front of Smith, who's going off for a line change. Drills it off the end boards. Soderberg cannot control. Shore sizzles it cross ice. Fleischman can't control, and Jovanovski does. Soderberg taps back to Chara. Kelly coming back to the puck. Dougie Hamilton tries a self-pass. Brian Campbell ahead. Chara is there. The backhand cross ice for Soderberg. Kelly gets a skate on the clearing attempt by Dylan Olsen. Brian Campbell, tremendous skater at age 34, not slowing down. Off the end boards, and Dylan Olsen has it again, gives it away to Krejci. Krejci shot, score! David Krejci with a three-point night. And unload another six-pack. That's 3 in a row for the Boston Bruins.
You do know your times tables. 6, 12, 18 now for Boston. David Krejci just kind of playing possum out there, hiding in the weeds, laid back. Makes it look as if he's just kind of playing space, and all of a sudden he sees exactly where that pass wants to be made, steps right into the passing lane, and about a half stride later, he lets an unbelievable snapshot go. Thomas almost didn't react. It was on him so quick.
Pye fires it into Thomas, and he'll take the face-off.
Olsen, the player, the defenseman, after he takes the pass from his partner, in this case, Campbell. I don't know if he just never saw David Krejci or what, but that was right on the tape. Little delay by Krejci, and then a great snapshot.
Bartkowski wrists it toward goal. Thornton looking for the high circle tip. Boychuk sizzles it around through the corner. Pye to Bartkowski, chips it toward the middle. Gilbert sprays the backhand off the boards. Bartkowski holds his ground. Pye comes through, bangs Huberdeau. Looks like the old playground trick as Bartkowski was down on his knees, and Pye went tumbling over him, not even knowing he was there. Sort of gives him a little stick tap to say, hey, you all right? Bartkowski selling Huberdeau on the fake and using the net to his advantage. Off glass, and it spins and gets up on edge. Mike Weaver. Straight out of the Florida zone. Now gives it over to Campbell. Boyes picks up the self-pass on the boards. Miller gets the leverage on it. Boyes kicks the puck loose. Looks in front, now the slot. Boyes' shot trickles through the goal mouth off Miller's leg in the final minute of the game. Rick, the Bruins have found their shooting sticks, and they're hitting the back of the net with tremendous regularity. Albeit against lesser competition, they're still finishing the chances they weren't earlier in the season.
Yeah, and they're really trying to amplify the positive, concentrate on the things that they're doing well.
Erickson for Kelly. Thomas makes the save. Soderberg rams the puck. It was never tied up, but Thomas gets the whistle. Audi Performance Play brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive tonight.
Milan Lucic's playing with a purpose, gets inside position. He's able to outmuscle a number of Florida Panther defensemen tonight. Getting to the front of the net. Playing that power forward position that he has established for himself here in the National Hockey League. The goals weren't coming for a lengthy stretch, but 2 of them tonight.
15 goals for Milan Lucic, 18 for Riley Smith now. Chara has his 13th of the season. Krejci has his 11th to go along with his team-leading 34 assists. Hamilton's drive rattles off several legs. 20 seconds to go in this game. So the Bruins will win their 4th in a row, go to 5-0-1 in their last 6, and increase their record at home to 17-2-2 in their last 21. And Thomas takes a full right hand at Carl Soderberg.
That was more than a right hand. I thought he got him with the stick.
Yep. Let's sort out the laundry here.
Now the Bruins trying to play to the final buzzer. The game's decided, but they're still in attack mode. Little chip pass out front. That's more stick than blocker.
Boy, that ought to be suspendable. At least a look at it. I mean, you know, penalties are penalties, but you come down across a man's neck like that with a goalie stick, you could do some significant damage. You know, I get it. I understand about protecting your goalie, but there's a limit.
Yeah, it's a combination of protect your goalie and frustration by the goalie.
A 2-minute penalty to Thomas for high sticking. At 19:56, so this will go down as an 0-for-1 power play for the Bruins. Not helping the percentage any, but
You got 3.4 seconds.
don't dangle. Bartkowski flips it to Hamilton, and that'll run out the clock. Hugs all around for Tuukka Rask. 6-2 Bruins. Save of the game brought to you by Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Thomas Kopetsky gets the chance, and Tuukka Rask, the pinball flipper, getting the left leg out. Pretty good stuff, Brick.
Yeah, the Bruins are feeling it right now, and you got to believe that the confidence that they have as they get more healthy and understand what they have in front of them between now and the brink, I think is really serving as motivation to bank the points they're looking to bank, and they're able to do it to this point.
Well, Dale, they've won 4 in a row, and I know what they got in front of them. They got Montreal Thursday night, baby.
6 more? Who knows? Coming up on Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live, reaction from a victorious Bruins dressing room. Claude Julien will go one-on-one with Jamie Erdahl, and we will preview that delicious matchup that Jack just mentioned. The Montreal Canadiens in town on Thursday. Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live is coming right up.